Hey everyone, je suis Artie and welcome to another weekly gaming traffic where I briefly show you and tell you about games fully released between January 30th and February 5th. This episode is so indie that even the bombs section includes indie game. Today we are going to learn that free-to-play is not always free. Something interesting for friends and couples. Listen to this. In We Were Here, two players are trapped inside an abandoned castle. Player 1 is confined to a small secluded part of the castle. Player 2 roams the castle trying to find Player 1. Every room challenges your wits and ability to communicate clearly using only your voice. There is no other way to communicate with each other, so make sure you have a microphone ready. Oh Gwen! Hunt looks like a pretty interesting game, but it denies itself. The game is online, but there is also single player with AI opponents, but it's not, unless we buy the game. The game is free to play, but we cannot create games as free users. Only we rely on those who bought the game and created an online session. So what kind of game is Hunt? One player is a monster, trying to escape the mansion or kill other players. And other players are hunters, trying to catch the monster.
You monster!
And action. Now pay for it. There are many likes when it comes to Xenon Valkyrie. The graphics is 8-bit-like. The theme is anime-like. And the gameplay is roguelike. Other than that, the game is surely an action platformer with RPG elements. 3 playable characters, many items, bosses, worlds to explore and secret places to discover. We don't just beat levels mindlessly. There's a story with different endings and there are quests to complete. Alwa's Awakening is the most retro of all the games released this week. There are no guns and no stealth elements, but there is magic and puzzles. We not only use magic to defeat enemies, but also to solve the puzzles. We can upgrade our magic stuff, and we better do it when we can, cause there are over 400 rooms full of dangers and obstacles to go through. I am not over with 8-bit pixels platformers and definitely not over with platformers yet. This is like 3rd week in a row when platformer lovers are spoiled to the core by developers. Lucky you. Hikibu is another 8-bit-ish artistically pixelated action platformer. The game is more stealthy, which naturally makes it less shooting-wise. The price is relatively low, which is always a good thing for us consumers. Okay, we are out of pixel art zone, but still in action platformer area. Crimson Trigger is anime themed, but don't hold it against it if you wanted to, because it's just a wrap up. The game looks good and the gameplay is quite dynamic. There are also nice features like ability system letting us upgrade our skills and many weapons which also can perform skills. Other than that, we ram through levels killing enemies and bosses and... In Wells, we also do some shooting, but at slower pace. The game is more of a side-scroller than platformer, and it's wrapped up in steampunk theme. Just like in Alwa's Awakening, we use our weapons not only to kill enemies, but also to switch some switches in unreachable for us places and solve some puzzles. Each weapon is unique, with different functionality, and the ammo is unlimited. The last platformer of this week and the most family-friendly one. Poi is classic 3D platformer with parkour elements. But then again, isn't parkour a 3D platformer in real life? In Poi, time matters. There's an online leaderboard with fastest times, so remember to not slack around while exploring the world in search of over 100 explorer medallions. You know all those medieval/fantasy RPGs with vast world to explore and team to manage? In Diluvion, we get that too, but underwater. It's not only about exploration. We can be a pilot of one of 9 submarines which can be upgraded. We can and must recruit our crew, members with different personalities and skills. Combat is inevitable, and the enemies can be really terrifying. We also must be careful with resources. Sea monsters are not the only thing which can kill us. On top of all that, we can build and upgrade our own base. It does sound like a pretty cool piece of game, doesn't it? I must change the section's name because casual don't really fit anymore. For all the fans of unusual, abstract, weird, and indescribable productions of the gaming industry. A house of many doors. We travel in a train, moving on mechanical legs, exploring unknown worlds of procedurally generated poems. We fight in turn-based shooters and spy in the City of the Dead. It's an open-world RPG to witness, not to explain. The title of the game says it all. We repair, upgrade, research, and launch satellites. But why? To defend our planet from missile attacks. And by our planet, I don't really mean Earth, because we can play on 3 different planets. They say we are qualified, but who cares about the qualifications when we have a jetpack on our back? Yes, we can shoot ourselves into the space to check the status of the satellites, and then we get back to the ground and use various buildings to research and upgrade new ones. Staying in astronauts climates but completely changing the genre. Causality is a simple but very nicely executed puzzle game. We lead astronauts to exits trying to avoid dangers lurking from under. We must do it fast because clock is ticking, but wait, did I mention that we can control the time? Yeah. The time? Caliper is a physics-based 3D blocks puzzle game. Some blocks melt, some are frozen, some slide, some float on the water surface. Some blocks can break and some can burn. And we kick them around, all that to get to the exit. The game doesn't ask for much money, which is a nice touch. There is no person in this world who would never wonder what's happening under. With kings under the hill, we can go below. What can we expect there? A different world. The world that is randomly generated and destructible. The world of brutal fights. The world where we need resources for armors and weapons to equip. And who we equip? Our units, which are fully customizable. We build, we set, we fight, and soon enough we realize who is the real king under the hill. We are. For $1. Sovereignty, Crown of Kings. Grand strategy. One huge map with bunch of different nations and races on it, 35 to be exact. No randomness, everything is set up front. We trade, we build, we upgrade, we train, we fight to complete objectives. Just remember, it's not a 4x strategy. Civil War, on the other hand, is simple, small, typical turn-based hex strategy. But no one said it's a bad game. Obviously, looking at the title, the game recreates battles based on historic events. We control 5 unique types of units, we can change formations, flank, veteran units, generals, all standard. But no one said it's a bad game. Indie nomen omen bombed this week. YouTuber's Life is finally fully released, which sounds funny. The game has been overplayed and overshown by YouTubers during its early access phase. Now it's fully released, and what? It's just like any other game treating about any other job. It has nothing to do with real life. It's just fun to be a YouTuber in a game, just like it's fun to be a construction worker in a game. I am not saying that real job cannot be fun, because it can and it should be. Anyway, YouTuber's Life is fully released. Dessert, please. Yes, Conan Exiles is my highlight of the week. Early access stage, buggy, incomplete, laggy, crashing, for now. I got the game, and I will be making regular content about it, like informing about patches and changes and guides as the game evolves and progresses all the way to its full release. I strongly recommend to keep an eye on Conan Exiles. Don't hate it, but anticipate it. That's it. Thank you for watching, but the game release feast for this week is over. Time to pop all the party balloons and leave me here sitting and hoping that you enjoyed it. Remember, when you be going back home, safety first. If you drink, don't drive. And if you drive, don't skate. Next week, another party called Weekly Gaming Traffic. Whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. Bye.